All right, I just got an email about number 3B, part B. So I'm going to go over number 3, part B in this video. In the weekend, I went over number 7, but I didn't really record it because my son was in the house and I can't really record anything while he's in the house. So, he's not here yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and just go over 3B, and as I go over, I'll just record myself, okay? All right, so James, thank you. I think you're okay with the quotient rule, but B, I think the problem with B is really going to be simplifying the rational expression. So let's go ahead and do B. If you want to see part A, email me. I know you're preparing for your exam this week, and I will send out your exam Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. so that you guys can start early. Instead of starting at 8 a.m. and finishing it at 9:40, so that you can have start at 6 o'clock. But that means I want you to please email me by at the latest, Wednesday morning, if you guys have any questions on this practice problems, okay? So part B only, because that's the only one that I got an email about. They said, note that f of x can be rewritten as x squared times 5 plus x to the negative 6th power. And that is so true, right? Because f of x, the original f of x is x squared divided by 5 plus x to the positive 6th power. So you can rewrite this by bringing this denominator next to this. Just gotta change the exponent to a negative exponent. So it can be rewritten, and I think that's a very good idea. And if you write it this way, you do not have to use a quotient rule. We can use the product rule. So let's write down product rule real quick. Product rule. It's going to be, well, if you're trying to find the derivative of f times g, and then the derivative will be fg prime plus gf prime. I think on the exam, I'll try to name this function like h or something like that. So f does not mean the same, two different things in a single problem. I'll do that. It kind of bothers me right now that that's how we usually write the product rule, right? But f in this case is the original function's name. So on the exam, I'll try to call this function like h of x instead of f of x, okay? All right, but what are my f? F prime, g, and g prime. F is the first function that we're multiplying, and g is the second function in our product. So f is x squared. What's the derivative of x squared? That's going to be 2x. What about g? G is 5 plus x to the negative 6th power. And derivative of that, this is where we're using the extended power rule, guys. Okay, extended power rule. Bring down that negative 6. Write down x plus 5 plus x to the negative 7th power. And you're supposed to multiply this by the derivative of the inside part. Okay, that's the chain rule right here. Negative 6 times 5 plus x to the negative 7th power times, but what is the derivative of 5 plus x? That's just going to be 1 in this case. But be prepared on the exam. I'm going to try to give you an inside function that does not have a derivative of 1, so that you're going to have to multiply by something. Negative 6 times 5 plus x to the negative 7th power. So we got 4 pieces right here. We got f prime, g, and g prime. I'm going to go ahead and use these 4 pieces and do the product rule, okay? So f prime of x is going to be f times g prime, fg prime. I hate using f, and because right now they mean 2 different things. But all right, the first function x squared times the derivative of the second function, which is negative 6 times 5 plus x to the negative 7th power, plus, now I need g first. G is 5 plus x to the negative 6th power, and f prime. I need f prime after it. I need my 2x. Okay, so double check your product rule. This is f. This is g prime. This is g, and this is f prime. So we are ready to simplify. We found the derivative. It is what it is, but we just have to simplify this because in part C, we want to be able to say they're exactly the same thing. So let's focus on simplifying. And from this point on, it's just going to be algebra. How about I bring out this negative 6, so I write it as negative 6x squared. And then I'll have 5 plus x to the negative 7th power there. And then I'll have 2x, 5 plus x to the negative 6. Nothing really happened yet, right? I just brought out these terms to the front. But let's go ahead and simplify this so that it looks like the answer that you got from part A. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite these into a rational expression. So negative 6x stays on top. But notice we can send that 5 plus x to the 7th power to the denominator. But just make sure that you convert that or change that exponent to a positive number. Plus, what about this second part? You'll have 2x on top. But that's going to be divided by 5 plus x to the positive 6th power, right? Now, the only thing that we have left to do is just add these two fractions. If you want to add fractions, you need what? Common denominators. Right now, I have 7 and I have 6 power. So what I can do is I can multiply this one by 5 plus x to the first power, right? Because 6 plus 1 is going to give me 7. So we're doing this common denominator. And that will turn into f of x equals negative 6x squared divided by 5 plus x to the 7th power plus 5 plus x to the 7th power, right? Because if you add these two powers, exponents, that will turn into 5 plus x to the 7th power. And let me go ahead and distribute these and then have what? 10x plus 2x squared. And we're ready to add these fractions together because they got common denominator of 5 plus x to the 7th power. If I add these numerator, and the numerator is going to be negative 6x squared plus 10x plus 2x squared. That's going to give me what? Let's see. Negative 4x squared, right? If you add negative 6 plus positive 2, and then plus 10x. Now, this is the answer that I got. And this should be the same thing as the answer that you will get from part A. Now, let me check the answer key real quick. Because if you want to simplify this, I guess you can factor out the negative 2x and everything. But is that really necessary? Let's see. How did they write it? I had negative 4x plus 10x. Oh, the answer key that I got this problem from your MyLab. 10x minus 4x squared. So I just had the numerator switched, but that's okay. It's the same thing. And you're gonna have to show me work on this exam because I know there are a lot of calculators out there that will just, you type in the function, they will spit out the derivative for you, but that's not what I want you to do. So if you get me the correct answer without about this amount of work, you know what I will do, right? But email me if you have any other questions, okay? I'm just patiently waiting for your emails this week. So that's it for 3B. And this should be the same thing that you will get from using the quotient rule, okay?